The alarm bells rang across Zephyria Prime, their sharp sound echoing through the crystal towers that reached high into the purple sky. Council Speaker Zixthera moved as quickly as his 6 legs could carry him down the long hallway toward the emergency meeting chamber. His blue scales were darker than usual, a sign of deep worry among his people. The Galactic Council had not called an emergency meeting in over 300 years. The last time was when the Krathan Empire had threatened to destroy a peaceful trading world, but this was different. This was worse than anything they had faced before. Zixthera entered the Great Chamber, where representatives from 47 different alien species were gathering. The room was enormous, with seats designed for creatures of all shapes and sizes. Some delegates floated in special tanks filled with liquid. Others hung from the ceiling using their natural flying abilities. A few sat in mechanical suits that helped them survive in the chamber's atmosphere. "Friends and allies," Zixthera called out, his voice amplified by the chamber's sound system. "We face a crisis unlike any in our recorded history. The sensors have detected something terrible approaching from the outer rim of the galaxy." Military Advisor Quindor stepped forward from his position near the main display screen. He was a Krathan, one of the warrior species that had once been enemies of the Council, but now served as their military experts. His thick armor plates were black with worry markings, and his forearms moved nervously as he prepared to speak. "The energy signature is massive," Quindor said, his deep voice filling the chamber. "Our best scientists have analyzed the readings 3 times. The approaching vessel appears to be over 12 kilometers in length. Its power output is greater than our entire combined fleet." A wave of shocked sounds filled the chamber. The Alteran delegate, a peaceful creature that looked like a floating jellyfish, pulsed with frightened colors, an insect-like Vexani. Representatives clicked their mandibles in distress. Even the mighty Torgan, who were known for their bravery, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "How is such a thing possible?" asked Delegate Morden from the Centauri Federation. "The largest ships in our fleet are barely 1 kilometer long. What kind of civilization builds vessels of such enormous size?" Quindor activated the main display, showing a rough image constructed from sensor data. The shape that appeared made the entire chamber fall silent. The vessel was sleek and deadly looking, covered in what appeared to be weapon ports and armor plating. It looked like something from their oldest nightmares. "The vessel comes from a system our charts call Southri," Quindor continued. "Our records show it as uninhabited, but clearly we were wrong. This species has built what can only be described as a mobile weapons platform, a ship designed for one purpose: destruction." Elder Kefta of the Wisdom Keepers floated forward in her energy chair. She was over 800 years old and had seen more galactic history than anyone else in the chamber. Her ancient voice trembled as she spoke. "I have studied the old legends," she said. "There are stories passed down from the first civilizations. Tales of the world eaters and star killers. Ships so large they could crack planets and burn entire systems. We thought they were just myths. What do we know about these creatures from Sol 3? Asked the Nexari Prime Minister, his tentacles waving anxiously. Science Coordinator Velenex consulted her datapad with her multiple eyes. "Very little, I'm afraid." The system appeared to be a simple stellar formation with several rocky planets. "Our surveys indicated primitive life at best. But clearly, these beings have been hiding their true capabilities." "Could they be refugees?" suggested the Alteran delegate, hopefully. "Perhaps they built such a large ship to evacuate their entire population." Quindor shook his massive head. "No refugee ship needs that many weapon emplacements. This is a warship. Pure and simple. It's the most powerful warship ever detected in this galaxy." The chamber erupted in frightened chatter as delegates from different species spoke in their own languages. The universal translators worked hard to convert dozens of alien voices into understandable speech, but the meaning was clear in every language: fear. "What are our options?" Zixthera called out, trying to restore order to the meeting. "We could try to negotiate," suggested a diplomat from the Peaceful Worlds Alliance. "Send messages offering tribute or surrender before they arrive." "Surrender to what?" demanded a Krathan war leader. "We don't even know what they want. They could be coming to harvest our worlds for resources, Or enslave our populations? Or worse? Could we fight them? Asked another delegate. Quinder looked at his tactical analysis again. Our combined fleet consists of nearly 10,000 ships from all member worlds. According to these readings, this single vessel could destroy our entire force. Its shield generators alone produce more energy than most of our capital ships. Then we run, said Elder Kefta sadly. We evacuate the systems in its path and hope it passes through our territory without stopping. But where would we go? Asked the Nexari Prime Minister. If they can build one ship like this, they can build more. Eventually, they will find us no matter where we hide. The chamber fell silent as the terrible truth sank in. For thousands of years, the Galactic Council had maintained peace through diplomacy and cooperation. Their ships were designed for exploration, trade, and research. None of them had ever imagined they would face an enemy with such overwhelming power. How long until it arrives in our space? Zixthera asked quietly. Based on its current speed and trajectory, Quinder calculated approximately 72 standard hours. It appears to be heading for the Kepler 442 system, the Nexari homeworld, whispered someone in the chamber. Prime Minister Veltar of the Nexari Federation stood up on his four legs, his fur standing on end with terror. My people. What will happen to my people? No one in the chamber had an answer. They could only watch their sensors and wait as the massive human warship continued its approach, carrying with it the fate of every civilization in the galaxy. Captain Jake Morrison stood at the center of the bridge, his hands gripping the metal railing as he looked out at the stars through the massive viewing window. The bridge stretched nearly 100 meters from side to side, filled with dozens of crew members working at their stations. Red and blue lights blinked across countless control panels. The soft hum of the ship's engines vibrated through the floor. All systems are showing green, Captain, called out Chief Engineer Lisa Carter from her station near the back of the bridge. Her voice carried easily across the space, but it still seemed small compared to the enormous room around them. The fusion reactors are running at perfect levels. The jump drive is ready for activation. Jake nodded and turned to face the main screen at the front of the bridge. The screen was so large it took up most of the wall, showing a view of space ahead of them. Stars dotted the darkness like tiny diamonds, and in the distance, he could see the curve of Earth, their home planet looking small and blue against the black void. The EU's Goliath was unlike anything humanity had ever built before. The ship stretched over 12 kilometers from front to back, making it longer than most cities. Its hull was dark gray metal, covered in weapon ports, sensor arrays, and docking bays. Inside, 50,000 crew members lived and worked in a floating city among the stars. Communications Officer Rodriguez, any word from Earth Command? Jake asked, walking over to the communications station, where Danny Rodriguez sat, surrounded by screens and radio equipment. Admiral Brooks is standing by, Captain, Danny replied, adjusting his headset. She's waiting for your signal to begin the mission. Jake looked around the bridge one more time.